What's up, everybody? Welcome to Advanced Reports 201. Today we got a much more substantial advanced report to be looking at. As you can see, a lot of things are blacked out to protect the anonymity of this manager. We're looking at a manager's advanced report here today, them as well as their agents. A lot of new things on this one we're going to be taking a look at. First one I want to touch on is a name change. An agent had written them as Thomas III Jackson. It should obviously be Thomas Jackson III. So our home office made that change, and we see that name show up twice on here. It came off with the old name. We see a chargeback for it, or numbers coming off, not a chargeback. And then we see the new business going on. All it was is a name change, but when you're changing something like that, they got to list it twice with the new, and then the old one comes off. New money went on, old money came off. So essentially, it's a wash. It's just a technicality, and we see that happened on the 17th based on this run date here. A lot of new business. We see the manager's personal production as the asterisk, and then we see the agency, the 6-month agents. So agents within their 6 months, they have the percentage sign over here. Lots of different plan names on here that we see as well. Speaking of plan names, I want to talk about what's going on with our first column, our first row of stuff here. Kirk Larson and Tevin Williams got a decline counter offer. What that means is a $5,000 counter offer from underwriting. Kirk Larson, for instance, had applied for a 4-year renewable and convertible term. Underwriter said, no, you are getting a $5,000 counter offer, and the UW is the code here. At the end, if ever you see a UW like that, that's the underwriter's $5,000 counter offer. Dude wanted 4-year term, they gave him $5,000 a whole life only. And we see that 1,200 ALP come off from the original plan, then 280 ALP coming on. And it's affecting the numbers over here as well as it pertains to the advance. If you're looking at this wondering why 1,200 advance is only $11, 1,200 ALP is only $11 advance, that's because it was one of the agents. This was one of the agents within their first 6 months when they had written this. And it's the override. It's only a 1.5% commission over the agent's commission for the manager. So the manager is only getting 1.5% on this in terms of their advance. So if you're looking at low numbers over here, that's why. That's what happens in management here. So same thing happened with Tevin Williams. He applied for whole life regular male smoker. See the code down there. And he received instead the underwriter's $5,000 counter offer. Also over here, we see returned initial premium. So this is done when you get an IP code over here, IPINV. This is showing it as an invalid account for both of these applicants. Looking at the size of the ALP on these, I'm guessing they are Head Starts. And on both of these, probably within the same household, there was an invalid account for it. So we tried to pull the initial premium out of the bank, and it bounced back that it was an invalid account. So the company never got paid anything, so they advanced you money before they received anything. Now they're wanting it back. You'll see an INV. You'll also see an IPNSF, non-sufficient funds. And you'll see that one a lot. Either the funds aren't there or it's a bad account. So the initial premium was returned. You have to remember, too, with an NSF, many of you have probably heard of that. NSF means non-sufficient funds. It's not like overdrawing your account with a debit card, in which case the bank is paying it and then you're paying the bank back. It doesn't work that way with our drafts. It's the same as them giving you a check, and it's a bad check. And if it overdrafts their account with a check, then there's a returned item fee and overdraft fees and a whole bunch of stuff, but ultimately the money has to be given back. Bank will not advance it to our company. We have to give it back. So anyway, just keep that in mind. It doesn't work like debit cards. We also see an advance adjustment over here on Lakeisha, Arthur, and Laquanda. We see a no production was put on these two policies, and then Arthur Thomas was actually coming off this week. My assumption is that Laquanda went off the previous week and got a no production on it this week. And then finally, Arthur came off as well. Could have been a cancellation, could have been a variety of reasons. They withdrew the application. But one thing that definitely is happening is your advance is being adjusted by $20 coming off. And another thing that we see over here are some declines. So Alicia and Mark, same ones up here. So not only was the premium returned with an invalid account, but they also wound up getting declined. It will not decline an app just because of bank stuff that you see over here. So invalid account or NSF. It won't show up as a decline. It only shows up as a decline if the applicant was in fact declined, and then there's no saving it. All of these cases up here, declined counteroffers, well, you can get them to take this for right now, and then maybe in a year or two, maybe we can reapply for more coverage, but in the meantime, they got 5,000. Hey, it's better than nothing. Same with returned initial premium. You can fix that stuff. Call them up, get the right bank account. All these things can be fixed, but a decline you can't. There's nothing you can do with it. You can do something with a lapse. So this E-LAP, lapse. DCL was decline. LAP is for lapse. These three clients had lapsed their coverage. They've had it for a while, and for whatever reason, they stopped paying on it. They let their coverage lapse. Could be as simple as they got a new bank account, we just don't have it. They changed banks and forgot to let us know, so their coverage lapsed. That's a real easy phone call, and that's why they give you the phone numbers down here as well for these cases, for lapses, declines, as well as cancellations. They give you the phone numbers. Give them a quick call, figure out what's going on. With a decline, you should probably let them know, hey, you got declined. With a lapse, figure out what the reason was. It could have been something like they got laid off or went on strike or something like that, and they forgot that they had a layoff waiver or strike waiver. And you can call them up, have them apply that, get the case back on the books, all that stuff, and most importantly, make sure that their coverage is still active. So that's what's up with lapses. Cancellations, same sort of deal. They called up to cancel. Lapses, if you get that reinstated, if you can get it back on the books, you get a 25% reinstatement bonus. So if it were 1,000 ALP, then you would make $250 in a bonus just for getting it reinstated, and then it goes on your back end. So you get all the renewals for it as well. So good thing to do. Protect those bodies. Get the coverage reinstated. Cancellations, just call them up, figure out what the deal is with it. Oh, also I left this blank over here, left this open because it was the same person, Thomas Jackson. Not only did Thomas Jackson have his name changed by our home office on the 17th, that's why it showed up there, his name shows up again down here, Thomas Jackson III. On the 21st was the run date on that. So on the 21st, he called up to cancel. So call up the client, figure out what's going on and why that is. So those are a few new things on here that we saw. Quick recap, again, name changes. It's a common occurrence. It's just a technicality. We have to have the proper name on file, so they take the old name off and put the new one on by doing it this way. Also, we saw the $5,000 decline counteroffers. We saw a return of initial premium, so bad bank stuff. We tried to take the initial premium out. We saw a couple advance adjustments on there. If we took the initial premium out, but then the later premium stopped coming in, then it's a lapse. We saw some declines over here. Nothing you can do with the decline but call them up and wish them best of luck, I guess. But you can't do anything to fix your numbers. You can't fix the business on that. Cancellations, again, you can fix that business, get them back on the books. And did want to talk about the numbers down at the bottom here. I alluded to this on the previous video that these are very important numbers to know. Your retention and your net to gross. Take a quick look at what's going on with those. Your net to gross is going to be for new agents, or if you are within your first 12 months of your contract, net to gross is a figure that is looked at, not retention. And net to gross is basically the volume of business you wrote versus what sticks around. I mean, in very crude terms, that's what it is. Now, we look at these numbers to figure out if you're going to get a bonus or not. Same with retention. And if you are within your first 4 months, there's no requirement to get your bonus. You get a bonus automatically. If you're in your 5th or 6th months, you have to make sure that your net to gross number is at 84 or above. This one is at 86, so it's going to be no big deal anyway, even if they were in their 5th or 6th month. 7 to 12 months, that's going to be an 80% is what you got to keep it at. Because the company knows that as time goes on, things are going to be falling off, so they adjust for that here. And it's important to note a couple things about net to gross. First off, it's all or nothing. You either get your bonus or you don't. Versus retention, we'll look at in just a sec. You get percentages of your bonuses if your numbers start dropping. But with net to gross, it's all or nothing unless your bonus is forced. So if they do allow that, your bonus to be forced, it will be at a reduced rate, but you will still get a bonus if they will accept that. Also, you need to note, how do we calculate the month? Month 1 is the month in which you received your first piece of business. So when you get coded, that is month one. It doesn't matter if it's the 15th of the month, the 30th of the month, the 1st of the month. The entire month is your month one. So for instance, if they got first piece of business on 3/15, that's going to be March. It's going to be the first month. April, May, June is the 4th month. And then come the 5th month, which is July, you got to make sure that your net to gross number is at 84 by then. And you want to be maintaining it as high as you can as time goes on, because as soon as month 5 kicks in, as soon as July kicks in this case, whatever your net to gross number is at, that's what is in effect. And if you've just been letting your business tank for 4 months, and then month 5 rolls around and you're at a 60%, it's going to be very hard to dig your way out of that one. So at any rate, if in July the net to gross is under 84, again, no bonus. It's not graded or anything. It's all or nothing. Retention is going to be used after 12 months of a contract. So within the first 12 months, we're on net to gross. After 12 months, we're looking at retention. Now it says here 73% is full bonus. This manager is okay on that. This is showing his agency's retention. So the people underneath him, not necessarily their personal, but regardless, their agencies is above 73, so they would receive a bonus this week on their agents, but they're getting close, so they're going to have to track the P&P and look out after that. So the agent progress and persistency report we'll talk about in a different video. But as it pertains to this, retention goes into effect as soon as one contract has been active for more than 12 months. If an agent, however, if they become an SA, so are an agent, bump up to an SA, it's now a new contract. We're going to start back at net to gross. So you do start back at month 1 and follow the same formula. So now we're back on net to gross with a whole new clean slate, if you will, as an SA. And we can see the reductions over here, 73% all the way down to if you are under 71% retention, you get no bonus. And it will be reduced as that time goes on. So a couple new things here for you to check out on this advance report. Hope you learned something. Hope it was as enjoyable as it could be. Thanks for tuning in, and until we learn next time, take care.